Good morning and welcome to Friday Thoughts, Living Faithfully Together. And as we come together today, I wanted to start with certainly with one word of clarification. Last week, Pastor Kerry and I talked about moving forward and the survey that's out from the MET team, the Mission Exploration team. And I just want to remind you, we really do want you to fill that out and turn that in because that helps us in putting our thoughts together in what we want to look for in an associate pastor as we look to that possible call. In the same moment as I say that, and we need that turned in this week if possible, I want to be very clear. Pastor Kerry is not leaving anytime soon. There are those who said, well, is she leaving soon? No, the answer is not. We have a lot of work left to do. This is just the first step in the process. I don't see us getting to that place of being able to form a call committee till late spring, maybe even into early summer. We're working on the process of getting things together. The shared team, shared ministry possibilities have to be explored, and if that's possible, work out those details. So I certainly see Pastor Kerry being with us well into next fall. So we're not moving this forward quickly, but rather slowly and carefully to make sure we do it properly. And I just want to be clear with that. We love having her here as part of our staff and look forward to that time together for as long as we can. So, having clarified that, then where do I want to go with today's thought? Maybe you're aware of it, I don't know. It's a lot been going on in the news lately, and it's been pretty bleak, pretty dark. And so it reminded me of a hymn in our hymn book, so I brought that out today. It's hymn number 294, In the Bleak Midwinter. Isn't that a nice thought? In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan, earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. Snow had fallen, snow on snow, in the bleak midwinter, long, long ago. That's sort of where I come today. It feels like we're in the bleak midwinter. Or from last week's gospel reading about John the Baptist and the reading from Isaiah. It's wilderness time. Wilderness time. But it's in that wilderness time that John came saying, prepare the way of the Lord. And I just wanted to acknowledge that, yes, wilderness may be our experience right now because of the unknown, because of the isolation, because of the uncertainties that we face, because of our own experiences of loss and grief and what can't be and what we hope and long for it to be. That is our reality right now. We're in the bleak midwinter, even though snow hasn't started much yet. But even beyond that, what I also want to say is there's good news. And the good news is simply that God is coming. God promises that. Prepare the way of the Lord, a royal highway in the desert, in the wilderness. Prepare that way for God to come. And God longs to be with us, among us, in all of these things. The Old Testament concept was God tabernacles among us. He dwells with us, not just in a building, but wherever we are, wherever we go, God chooses to dwell among us. And in that dwelling, in that walking among us, God comes. Every day. God comes in small ways through our encounters with our neighbors, through the gift of friends, through the frontline hospital workers, those who are there for us when life takes a rather difficult turn. God is there for us in family members. And yes, we trust in the gift of friends at church. We want you to know that we're here for you, and that as we move into Christmas, we continue as a staff to look at ways that we can stay connected with you, because we want you to know that you're valued, that you matter. And I know there are members right now going through hospitalizations, potential surgeries. There are those going through unemployment, loss and grief. And we simply want to acknowledge with you that yes, that's real. And we're here to understand. And we're here to engage in the struggle with you, that you don't go through it alone. And we're here to remind you that God is there as well. That God's message is, I come for you, I carry you, and yes, in the bleak midwinter, I will bring you home. And so we do the best that we can with what we have, and God promises to do the rest. And that's really the message of Advent. From Advent into Christmas, it's all about this, that God is coming, and that God always comes toward us. God comes toward us. And that's the gift. So, Kathy gave me a reading this week that I just found really helpful. It's simply entitled, How Light Comes. And as I share that reading with you, just a quick reminder. Think about it. Maybe even you've experienced it. If a room is pitch black and dark, and you light a single solitary candle, it brightens the room. And if you open the door into a second blackened room, that darkness does not swallow up the light, but the light instead spreads even into the second room. And that's the beauty. Light conquers darkness. And so this is a reading called How Light Comes. I cannot tell you how the light comes. What I know is that it is more ancient than imagining, and that it travels across an astounding expanse to reach us. That it loves, searching out what is hidden, what is lost, what is forgotten, or in peril, or even in pain. That light has a fondness for the body, for finding its way toward human flesh, for tracing the edges of form, for shining forth through the eye, the hand, and yes, the heart. I cannot tell you how the light comes, but that it does, and that it will, and that it works its way into the deepest dark that enfolds you. And though it may seem long ages in coming, or arrive in a shape you did not foresee. And so we this day turn ourselves toward the light. May we lift our faces to let it find us. May we bend our bodies to follow the arc that it makes. May we open, and then open more, and open still, to the blessed light that always comes. And so that's our hope and our prayer. That yes, in the bleak midwinter, in the midst of wilderness, yes, there is a light coming. Yes, there is vaccine on the horizon. But until that time comes, we are still together. And we still remain family, committed to one another, praying for one another, caring for one another, and holding fast to the God who holds fast unto us. So, blessings this week. We're with you. We're praying for you. And we stand strong, proclaiming the message of Christ's love. Take care.